With health updates and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching The Wrestling Report. Confirming that he will be at AEW Dynamite on January 7th in Tulsa, Jim Ross noted on his Grilling JR podcast, "I'll be there. I'll be in Tulsa. Come join us. It'll be a hell of a show, just out of old time's sake and tradition and all that good stuff. It'll be a night you don't want to miss. It'll be a special night. Man, I'm great. Could be better. Feel great," Ross said, reflecting on his time at the fan convention. "It's a hell of an event. I'm really glad I went. I'm sure that Tony Khan will put together a hell of a show. No doubt about it." After suffering an injury on Raw on November 24th, Penta can be seen in an Instagram post with Dr. Adisio as it reads, "Penta is on the right track and we have good results so far. However, we mustn't get complacent and must continue working together. I'm confident it will be ready by Friday." Asked if Penta will be ready to wrestle at the AAA event on December 20th, the reply was simply, "Hope so." The WWE library on Peacock is about to be no more, as Ringside News wrote that WWE fans were caught off guard this week after discovering that a massive portion of the company's content library is set to leave Peacock by the end of December, months earlier than most expected. While the deal between WWE and Peacock was always scheduled to end in 2026, viewers began noticing expiration notices across a wide range of content, including the entire WCW and ECW libraries, territory-era footage, and hundreds of classic WWE and WWF events. Now, it's confirmed that the transition is happening sooner than originally believed. This early exit comes as part of the expiration of the 5-year agreement between WWE and Peacock, which began in March of 2021. That deal brought the full WWE Network library under Peacock's banner for US fans. But with WWE now realigning its media rights and moving Raw to Netflix, SmackDown to USA Network, NXT to the CW, and premium live events to ESPN DTC, the full library is the last remaining piece without a publicly confirmed destination. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer confirmed the exit timeline and explained the uncertain future of WWE's video on demand history. The library at the end of this month will no longer be on Peacock, and what happens to the library in the United States is up in the air, Meltzer said. "I know ESPN has said that they're interested. Probably wind up with ESPN. How much ESPN will put on its services, we'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of people talking about Netflix. There's so much stuff on Netflix never put up internationally because they have the rights internationally." Meltzer also advised fans not to wait if they want to catch classic wrestling footage before it vanishes, especially from the territorial days. "I think that if you want to watch a lot of that old stuff, especially the territorial stuff, you might want to watch it in the next month, because there's no guarantee that whomever gets the deal next will keep all of the stuff, especially the older stuff, the territorial stuff, because I think that somebody new might just say there's no value in this." Peacock will continue to stream Saturday night's main event under a new deal, but nearly everything else, including the deep archive of pay-per-views, documentaries, and regional shows, will be removed by December 31st, 2025. If you're hoping to rewatch classic WrestleManias, ECW's Rise and Fall, or Hidden Gems from Mid-South, Stampede, or the AWA, the clock is ticking fast. After Darby Allin was hospitalized following his match against Kevin Knight on the November 26th edition of AEW Dynamite, Bryan Alvarez said this regarding Allin's future, noting on Wrestling Observer Radio, "Somebody tweeted that he had been in the hospital for a week and he was still there. That's not quite true. What happened was he got hurt in the Kevin Knight match last week. The spot that looked the scariest was the coast-to-coast dropkick. He got smashed with that move. I don't know if that's the move where he got hurt, but he got got hurt. He was in the hospital for a while, but they did clear him because he ended up going home, so he can travel. He's out of the hospital. The impression I was given was they're going to find out more on Collision. He might stay in the tournament, and he might not. They have to, I guess, figure it out in the next few days, depending on how he's doing. Providing an update on his health, AEW's Bryan Danielson told Chris Van Vliet, "So I have degeneration throughout my entire neck from C1 to T2. I'm on the cusp of needing surgery. I'd really like to avoid it as much as possible. I'd like to never get neck surgery. I was actually doing really well until I started traveling more for commentary, and now it's really gone downhill. I had these delusions of, okay, maybe I can get back and do a little bit of wrestling. Now I see that they really are delusions, because this traveling is like, this is not a good idea. I hate the R word, because I was forced to retire before. I never consider myself fully retired. I think this is how a lot of wrestlers think. Well, I think I could do this in this situation if needed or called upon. But yeah, effectively, for the Bryan Danielson that I used to be, yeah, that guy doesn't exist anymore." Former AEW coach Sarah Stock has accused All Elite Wrestling of having a broken system, specifically calling out HR lead Karen Van Bibber and Director of Performance Psychology Chris Manzione. She wrote, "I'm calling out corruption. Hi Karen Bibber and Chris not a Manzione. Sleep tight. Oops, forgot to tag them. It's the real Manzo and I can't find Karen's handle. Probably disappeared publicly out of embarrassment for her grand flop of a greatest accomplishment in AEW. Renaming human resources to people and culture. You go girl, earn that paycheck." So no, AEW does not have an HR department. She then replied to AEW's Tiara James from a post she made last month. Ugh, another one falls victim to the hand of hysterical Huber. Tiara, if you've ever felt sidelined at AEW, it's not you. I promise. Anytime I worked with Tiara, she delivered happily and skillfully. Support Tiara James. Are we seeing a pattern? A user asked. Are you telling me that crazy Amanda Huber is in Tony Khan's ear to hold people back in the AEW women's division? Stock said it's nipped in the bud before TK gets a chance to lay eyes on them. They're not invited back. It's a kink in the chain that needs replaced. Another user chimed in on Tiara James not being featured on AEW programming, saying, "Not another talent put on the sidelines by Uncle Tony." Stock replied, "No, not by Tony. TK doesn't blackball girls because they're hot. TK appreciates hot chicks. His woman is smoking. Please read." Talking about the $16 billion deal for WWE on ESPN, former writer for WWE Freddie Prinze Jr. said this during his podcast. "ESPN, by the way, is so unhappy with the deal. I was talking to a friend of mine who works for Disney, and he was just like, yo, they better make their money back on this deal." He just said, "They're hot." But anyway, guys, we gotta buy more PLEs. Just call it a pay-per-view. People would remember that, and they would buy them. Maybe. In response to this, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful reported a WWE higher-up said no one in WWE upper management is aware of Freddie Prinze's role in wrestling or otherwise. An ESPN rep claimed that they haven't heard that chatter and have enjoyed working with WWE. Prior to Survivor Series, ESPN president Burke Magnus said this about the relationship with WWE, telling SI Media, "It's gone great so far. We are very familiar with Nick Khan and the team over there. We've had engagement with them for years in much smaller ways. The superstars are highly engaged in promoting themselves, the broader WWE, and their stories. Survivor Series this weekend is going to be a really good measuring stick for how it's going. In terms of the interaction between the team at WWE and us, it's been great." When it comes to a possible winner for the upcoming Men's Royal Rumble match, Ringside News wrote that the Royal Rumble is still months away, but WWE may already have its next big winner lined up, and his name is Bron Breakker. According to WrestleVotes Radio, Breakker is currently the top favorite among WWE's creative team to win the 2026 Royal Rumble, set for January 31st in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This drops just as WWE finalizes its historic plans for the event, which will be the first Royal Rumble held outside North America. But the update on Breakker is what's turning heads behind the scenes. Even with his upcoming match against CM Punk on the books, set for January 5th, 2026 on WWE Raw for the World Heavyweight Championship, Breakker is still reportedly penciled in to win the Rumble. And no, this booking doesn't interfere with the finish of that showdown. WrestleVotes didn't reveal any creative plans beyond the Rumble itself, but the signal is clear. WWE has major plans for Breakker heading into WrestleMania season. Whether he walks out of Raw with the gold or not, his rocket ride appears far from over. With Saudi Arabia hosting Royal Rumble for the first time ever, WWE is clearly looking to make it count, and a Breakker win could be the kind of power move that sets the tone for 2026. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.